In today's Everyday AI video, I want to demonstrate a new app, a new tool, new AI tool for something that absolutely makes people tear out their hair. Of course, I'm talking about managing your inbox. Email has gotten out of control. Over the last several years, I've used my assistant to help me manage my inbox, and it's been pretty good. Using my assistant and using this AI tool, I am now saving about the same amount of time on a daily basis. If my assistant Clarissa, who's excellent, if she goes through and manages my inbox, she saves me about 45 minutes to an hour of my time every day. With Fyxer, it's probably about the same. And I'm really just getting started because there are some additional tweaks and we've got some learning curve here to apply. And I'm at the very, very beginning of this journey with Fyxer. So it's already saving me about 45 minutes to an hour. It is equivalent with my assistant managing my inbox. There's only been one email that I should have attended to that I didn't because I told her not to look at my inbox and I missed it because it was put into a weird category. So you have to be on top of these things, especially in the beginning. And I'll show you how to change the categories and how to train it so that that doesn't happen in the future. So let's go over and take a look at Fyxer. As you can see, this is just the Fyxer homepage, and I'm in the Preferences button here. The first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that email categorization is turned on, because after all, that's what you're using it to do, categorize your emails. Here, it gives you specific categories, and you cannot change it. And I know why you can't change it, because there's a lot of programming, a lot of algorithms and a lot of programming that goes into the AI back end to be able to categorize these emails for you. So you can't customize them. There are 8 of them, as you can see, and it describes what each of these individual categories are. You can train it. It does a pretty good job just out of the box, figuratively. It does a pretty good job of categorizing it for you, but you can train it to get better, and I'll show you how to do that. Now, the other option that you have with this is that you can have emails just automatically go into archive, into that label, and I'll show you how that works, or you can have it labeled and appear in your inbox as well. So anything with these black tick marks, I want to see in my inbox. So to respond and meeting updates, everything else, I just want it to label and archive immediately. Just go into that archive. There's a couple of other email customizations that you can do. You can set up rules so that any email that comes from any particular from address will be categorized the way you want it to be categorized. Now, I've hesitated to do this because I want to make sure that it learns from just my natural recategorization between its labels, moving it from one label to the other. And it seems to be doing a pretty good job. But there's still one email that it keeps miscategorizing. It puts into marketing. So I've just updated this. So anything from there's an AI for that, which is my favorite AI email newsletter, with the exception of my own, of course, I want to go into notifications. So I will see it when it comes out. And I get daily emails from them and read them most days. So I want that particular address to go into notification instead of marketing, which is where it was going. So you can add as many email from addresses or subjects as you want to and categorize it. So that gives you that flexibility. You can also set up alternative emails. There's a couple of things that either I've just discovered or are new features, I'm not sure which, I just literally discovered today. So you can choose the response threshold. So governs which emails we mark as to respond and generate a draft reply for. There are 5 different layers of that. And I have chosen the 3rd layer. So anything from emails that could use a polite acknowledgement to emails with a direct ask from me. So I'm going to play with this a little bit, and I'm going to downgrade it to number 1 because I want to see if it captures more. It could actually capture more emails as to response rather than FYI or notification. And then marketing threshold, again, anything that goes into the marketing label, I want it to be obvious sales and cold emails, and I may upgrade that in the future. As I said, it does do draft replies in anything that it categorizes as to respond. The draft replies you can play with, and you can set these, but it will copy over your email signature once you connect it to your email client. In my case, it's Gmail. I use Gmail for email, and it copied over my signature automatically, and then you can edit it. Okay, so I'll update the preferences here. As you can see, you can edit it. You can also toggle whether or not you want to enable follow-ups, so it will draft potential follow-ups and do that immediately. So you could have draft emails for not only the one that you're responding to now, but the one in the future. That just got a little bit overwhelming for me, so I took it off. And you can, this is a beta test, use Fyxer's calendar link to enhance scheduling. Haven't tried that yet. That email literally just came through today. But I'll show you how it does actually look at scheduling, which is pretty darn cool. And then your time zone, different settings that you can take. It also has a meeting note taker. I don't have that turned on because if you've seen my AI demos before, you know that I am absolutely in love with Fathom. If you don't know about Fathom, go back through my previous LinkedIn newsletters, previous LinkedIn posts on AI. I have done a demonstration of Fathom. That is my go-to AI note taker. Okay, so that's a little bit about how to set Fyxer up. Now let's see how it works in reality, in real life. So I am scheduling an AI deep dive masterclass, and I had to reschedule because I just had surgery and my brain wasn't attached until today. I feel pretty good, but my brain wasn't attached for the first week or so. I reached out and said, these are the dates. Can you do these dates? She came back to me and said, yes, she can. And then based on between that email going out and me actually scheduling the darn thing, because it tracks my calendar, it came up with a draft saying, no worries at all, glad to hear you're flexible. The 30th of April seems to work for everybody because I just scheduled it and it picked that up. I was probably amazed. So I'll look at that either morning or afternoon. We'll confirm, thanks for your patience. Fyxer drafted that email for me and used my email signature, as you can see. How did it know what dates were available? This is the calendar link, and again, it's without upgrading to the beta test of the new functionality that it's just released. But this is the calendar link. It looks at my calendar and it says, based on your calendar, I'd suggest these times for meeting. It also tracks what types of meetings I tend to schedule, which days and times, and will only list. So for instance, it knows that I like to do client business development meetings on Mondays and Wednesdays. It will only list Mondays and Wednesdays, and it has learned that on its own. Pretty cool. So that's the to respond and the automatic. Many times, if you get an email, so this was an email that came in a couple of days ago asking about travel to an event that I'm doing next week. And it generated two responses here. One, thanks for everything, looks fab. I'll add my taxi and Uber receipts, can't wait. Or, appreciated, everything looks good. I'll include any taxi Uber receipts invoice post-payment. So I don't know what the difference is, just the tone. If it's somebody asking for a meeting at a specific time, it will generate two options saying, yes, that time works great, or no, but can I suggest? And it will suggest alternative times, again, based on my calendar. So that's pretty freaking awesome. So let's look at some of these other categories. So that's to respond, I've shown you that. FYI, here are some FYI. Now, for instance, this one is should have been put into my to respond category. So I'm going to tell it to go into to respond. And hopefully over time it will learn. It seems to be learning really, really well now. The difference between FYI and notification, I think that FYI should be things that are okay. Notification should be more important things that I should be notified about. Honestly, I can't tell the difference between those two. And as you can see, have not cleaned this up because, again, recovering from surgery. Normally what I do is every afternoon I go through my FYI or notification. In fact, probably twice a day. But I'm not in my inbox as much as I used to be at all, and I'll just clean things up. And then these are meeting updates, typically once they're updated, I will take it off. Awaiting reply. These are things that I'm awaiting reply from people, and it automatically puts things in action once they're actioned. I always just take off the label. I don't delete it. Sometimes I do delete it. And then here are the marketing emails. I went through and cleaned this up a little bit earlier. And this is where I found that, there's an AI for that email is going into marketing instead of into notifications where I want it to go. So that's a little bit about Fyxer.